Hello and welcome all of you guys to our YouTube channel SimplifyX. Today in this tutorial, I will be explaining you guys about the Vlookup formula in Excel. Vlookup is one of the most powerful and most popular formulas in Excel. To begin with, what Vlookup stands for is vertical lookup. It helps you to look up a certain value in a column and returns the corresponding value from another column. Vlookup has a wide array of use cases starting from a simple list comparison in Excel to a very complex inventory management system. In this tutorial, in order for you guys to understand the nuts and bolts of this formula and how it works, I'll be using a very simple, straightforward example so that you guys can understand how the things are moving in Vlookup. Here, my example is something like this. Let's say we have two office complexes, one is office A and the other one is office B. I want to know which employees are in office B as well as in office A. In order to get this done, I can use the power of Vlookup. This is what we are going to do. I'll type Vlookup, and the moment that you type V and L, Excel suggests the Vlookup formula. If you want to accept that suggestion, you can hit tab, and the first parameter in Vlookup is the lookup value. So lookup value is the value that you want to search for. In this case, it's cell B2 because I want to see what employees are present in office B as well as in office A. Okay. So if it was the other way around, you would have given A2 instead of B2. But in this case, I want to look for B2. I will type B2, or you can point to that cell as well. Second parameter is the table array, which is the range of cells that you want to search in. In our case, it is column A. So I will go to column A, cell A2, and then I will select all the rows down to cell A11. I will hit Ctrl Shift down to select the entire thing at once. And the next thing I am doing is import. That is, I am making this an absolute cell reference. The reason for doing this as an absolute cell reference is this. Now, once we are complete with our Vlookup formula, I'm planning to use the fill handle and drag this formula to all the rows in column C, right? So when we are doing this, if we use the relative references, meaning without any dollar marks, if we reference the range without any dollar marks, that would be a relative reference. What can happen is Excel would shift the range for each row, yielding incorrect results from our Vlookup formula. We don't want that to happen. Therefore, I am using the absolute referencing here. To do that, what I am doing is, once I'm done with selecting the table array, I will hit F4 in keyboard. Now you can see dollar marks got populated. That means it's an absolute reference. Once that is done, I will add the comma to get the third parameter, that is the column index number. That is the number of the column that we want the result from. In this case, we only have one column anyway, therefore it would be 1. And then you need to enter either true or false. True means you want an approximate match from your Vlookup, else false means you want Excel to give you an exact match for your looking up value. In our case, we want an exact match, therefore I will type false. And I will close the parenthesis and I will hit enter. See, now you got Emily here. That means the value Emily is present in office B as well as in office A. Now, as I mentioned, I will use the fill handle to drag this formula all the way down to cell C11 and see what happens. See, now you got about 6 values that are present in both the columns. Also, you got like 4 error values as well. Here, the reason that you got this value like this weird value like #NA is this. Vlookup could not find the value in cell B3 in the entire column A. That is why it returned an error. If you see column Smith, you cannot find it in column A, like anywhere in column A. Therefore, it returned an error. Now this is fine if you are dealing with a small data set like this, right? But let's say the dataset that you are dealing with is massive, like it has like 10, 15 columns and then there are about 100, 200,000 rows. Things can get really messy and confusing. if you have error values like this in your sheet. So what we can do to make it much cleaner is to use if error formula. To give you some context, what if error formula does is, whenever we use it along with another formula, if that formula throws an error, if error will steps in and return a default value that we specify within the if error formula, right? Let's see how that happens. I'll go to cell C2, I will go to the equals mark, and then I will type if error. Now open brackets. Our value, the first parameter for the if error formula is the value. Value is the Vlookup formula itself in this case. And if it throws an error, I want it to say N. That means that employee is only present in office B, right? I will hit enter and I will use the fill handle and drag it all the way down to cell C11. Now you can see it's much cleaner. There's only 4 N values. That means 4 employees are only in office B and everyone else are in office B as well as in office A, right? So now at this point, we have covered almost all the fundamentals around Vlookup. But before wrapping this video, I want to show you guys something else as well. What if instead of showing N if there's an error and showing the employee name if that person is present in both the offices, what if I want the result to be more intuitive? What if I want the column C to have Y or N values? If it's Y, that means the person is present in office B as well as office A. If it's N, that means there's an error. That means the person is present only in office B. How can we do that? We can get the help of if formula here. Let's see that in action. I will type if. So here you know that the if formula expects 3 parameters from us. One is the logical test, the other one is the value if true, the other one is the value if false, right? In this case, logical test would be, we are telling Excel to check if the value in C2 is equal to N. That means there's an error. That means that person is present only in office B, right? Else, that means the value if false. If the if formula evaluates to a false, that means the value in cell C2 is not N. That would imply that the person or the employee is present in column B as well as column A. Therefore, that's a yes. Yes, that person is present in both the offices, right? That's the logic that we are going to use inside the if formula here, okay? So I will use this as the logical test. I want to complete it. I will check if it's equal to N. I will enclose N within double quotes. Now the value if true is again N. Sorry. If true is again N and then else. That means the value is not equal to N. That means yes, that person is present in both the offices. Once that is done, I am closing the parenthesis and I will hit enter. See, now instead of Emily, it changed to Y. And that is what we want. I will use the fill handle to drag it all the way down. Now you can see it is much more intuitive. It will say Y if the person is present in both the offices, else it will say N. And this technique might come in handy if you want this formula to be in a very large data set and if you want to filter your data set using this column C, right? Because if you want to filter it using column C, if you go to open the filters, there's only Y and N values. If you want the list of employees who are in both the offices, you just select Y and hit OK. See, all the 6 employees are returned here. So that is how you can use Vlookup formula in a practical context. And that is how you can enhance the Vlookup formula to make the results look much more cleaner and much more intuitive. Cool. Now we have come to the end of today's tutorial. If you guys find our tutorial valuable to you, please hit like and share it among your friends as well. And if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please hit subscribe and hit the bell icon as well. That way you will get an email notification the moment we upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you again in our next video.